from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Henrico Schools officials moving forward with a plan to test metal detectors and what survey respondents say they want in public transit along the West Broad Street corridor. We'll tell you about it in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Monday, January 23rd, 2023, and it's brought to you today by the law firm of Barnes & Deal.
And now for the news.
Shooting near Richmond Raceway may have left one man injured last night, according to Henrico Police. It happened just after 7 p.m. in the 5900 block of Queensthorpe Court. The shooting happened after a fight between three men, potentially stemming from an attempted robbery, according to police. One round was fired, and officials believe that someone was hit, although that person was not on the scene by the time police arrived. They were not able to locate that person either. Well, on the heels of an incident on Friday in which a Holman Middle School student was arrested after bringing a loaded gun to school, last night Henrico School Superintendent Amy Cashwell emailed parents to tell them that by mid-February, the school system will begin its field test of metal detectors at multiple schools at all levels throughout the county. We were first to report last month that the school system was considering testing metal detectors, and that's something that members of the Board of Supervisors said they were in favor of during a board retreat in January. Cashwell did not identify the schools at which metal detectors will be tested, but she did say that freestanding detectors and handheld metal detecting wands will be among the technology used. She also encouraged parents and others in the community to play an active role in helping to prevent violence, saying, quote, "We must acknowledge, however, that the surge in youth crime and violence is not just a school issue, but a community issue. We must work together to address the problem as families, neighbors, and community members. You are each a critical part of the solution," end quote. Well, nearly three-quarters of the almost 1,400 respondents to a recent GRTC Plan RVA transit survey said they would use public transit to commute between, to, or from the West Broad Street corridor in Henrico's West End if it were more available. That survey is part of an ongoing study by the two groups to determine the feasibility of extending GRTC's Pulse Bus Rapid Transit line along the West Broad Street corridor into Short Pump. Now, the Pulse currently provides frequent service, typically every 10 or 15 minutes, depending on the day and time, along a 7.5-mile loop at 14 stops between Rockets Landing and Willow Lawn. Perhaps most significantly in the survey, slightly more than half of all respondents indicated that they never, rarely, or only occasionally use public transit now, but more than 75% of them said that an expanded Pulse line would impact how they consider traveling along the corridor. Short Pump was the most desired stop, along with Innsbrook, West Broad Village, the Parham Road area, Libby Place, and other various shopping centers along the route. The survey also invited respondents to identify transportation barriers that they witness or experience along that corridor, and the respondents identified more than 3,600 of them, including inadequate crosswalks, bicycle facilities and lighting, missing sidewalks, lack of parking near transit stops, aggressive driving, and a lack of bus stop shelters or benches, among others. Now, for more on this topic and survey, you can read my article right now on henricocitizen.com. Senate Democrats last week killed several Republican bills that would have restricted voting access. The bills largely aimed to limit absentee and early voting, would have rolled back Democratic legislation that expanded that access. The bills included three from Senator Ryan McDougal of Hanover and multiple bills from Chesterfield Republican Senator Amanda Chase. You can read more about them and the votes that killed them on henricocitizen.com right now. And last week, a key House committee passed a Republican-sponsored bill that would set policies about what books could be offered or banned in public libraries. House Bill 1448 would require public schools, parents, and librarians in the state to make recommendations to the General Assembly and Department of Education, as well as school boards, on the adoption of policies for censorship of library materials. The bill was introduced by Delegate Robert Orrick Sr. of Spotsylvania. The bill passed the House Education Committee 12-9 on Wednesday in a party line vote. You can read more about it right now at henricocitizen.com. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Barnes & Deal. Barnes & Deal has emerged as a highly respected family law firm over the past 3 decades with the resources, skills, and experience necessary to handle high-asset divorces and other complex family law matters across Virginia. To learn more, visit barnesfamilylaw.com, that's B-A-R-N-E-S, or call 796-1000.